on, everybody? Kairi091 hanging out with you for this week's edition of Kairi's Cards Cast. Unfortunately, Brian Lutz is not going to be joining us this week. He's kind of in the middle of some other stuff and couldn't make it. So you are stuck dealing with Kairi, unfortunately. So, we have a great show. I have a great show because there's no Lutz. I have a great show lined up for you. A little bit later, we're going to actually talk to the one and only Red Ghost and Magic Man. They're going to be joining me to talk about football and have a good time. So stick around for that. You don't want to miss it. Should be a really enjoyable experience. But we're going to get started right now with this week's... Man, I'm never ready for it, am I?
Top 5.
There it is. One more time for good measure.
Top 5.
So this week's
Top 5
is all about the
Top 5
players we would be totally screwed if they went down and had to be out for the season, which isn't going to happen to any of these guys. Number 5, John Brown. His chemistry with Palmer is too good. We have great receivers on this team. Michael Floyd, Fitz, Jerron Brown's done some good stuff. J.J. Nelson's been stepping up lately. But Palmer loves John Brown way too much. John Brown is his guy right now. The chemistry is there between him and Palmer like it is not for anyone else. Number 4, David Johnson, because he's all we got left at running back. We did just promote Kerwin Williams, which is awesome. I liked Kerwin when he was here. Ask how, ask now. Ask Kerwin Williams. I'm the first guy to make that joke. I really liked Kerwin Williams, what I saw of him last season. But I wonder, I didn't even get a chance to check. If anyone knows, you can go ahead and tell me in the comments or whatever. They obviously had to cut somebody to promote Kerwin Williams from the practice squad to the active roster. I don't know who they cut. Number 3, the Honey Badger. The Honey Badger is playing too good. His nickname, I call him Visa, because he's everywhere I want him to be. I love the Honey Badger. I think we'd be in a lot of trouble if we had to lose him. Number 2, Patrick Peterson, P twice. Patrick Peterson has become an elite shutdown corner. Do you remember a couple seasons ago when Richard Sherman was complaining because he was getting so bored because nobody'd ever throw the ball to the receiver he was covering? That ain't true for him anymore. It's true for Patrick Peterson now. Nobody even targets his receivers anymore because they're not going to get around him. Peterson is so great, if we lost him, other teams would light us up through the air. He is the heart and soul of the no-fly zone between him and the Honey Badger. And number 1 has got to be freaking Carson Palmer. I mean, it's such a boring stock answer to say that. But Carson Palmer, we've seen what happens when we don't have him. And it is not pretty. And it's not something that we ever want to revisit. So, let's look back at last week.
It's Cardinals time.
I forgot to do that earlier in the show, so I just threw it in there right now. Let's look back at last week. Last week was ugly. Ton of penalties. A lot of people are saying we didn't win that game, that the refs gave it to us. Here's why I disagree. The roughing the passer call in that game, the game-winning drive, was a lousy call, I'll give you that. But I'm pretty sure it was second down when that call happened. So it's not like we were guaranteed to not convert on third down. If it had been third down and they gave us that call, I guess you could make that claim because if the call hadn't happened, we would have had to punt it. That wasn't the case. Second down. The other thing is that we responded. After that, we didn't just rely on the refs to do anything further for us. We threw a really good pass to the 1-yard line, or the 9-yard line, or wherever it was. And then Palmer did the thing he did where he ran in that touchdown kind of in slow motion. But he ran it in there, and then he spiked the ball and fell on his face like an idiot. But the point is that we responded well. So it wasn't handed to us by the refs. I will give you that the roughing the passer call was a terrible call. That wasn't the only one. The issue with the not knowing what down it was? I was sitting at home and I knew what down it was. The issue with John Brown with the illegal touching, they totally blew that call. John Brown, when he stepped out of bounds and came back in and caught the pass, you're not allowed to do that. You can't step out of bounds and then be the first one to touch the ball. And they what did they do? They ruled it incomplete. Or they ruled it. I remember exactly how it went. But the point is they got it wrong, and it should have gone a different way than it did, and it would have affected the outcome of that drive. it was a rough game to watch. I'm not gonna lie. As a Cardinals fan, it was difficult for me to watch because I feel like we have a better squad than the Niners, and we could beat them legit. It's really hard for me to see us beat them under those terms with such horrible officiating. I mean, the officiating this year, it was worse than the replacement refs this game. I honestly didn't know what to make of it. So, according to Bruce Arians, there's no such thing as an ugly win. According to Bruce Arians, every single win in the NFL is a beautiful, glorious thing. I guess I'll agree with him that I'm glad that we won. But I gotta say, if there was such a thing as an ugly win, Bruce, this was it. I know you're listening. I know you're listening, Coach. I know you tune in every week to hear what I think about your football team. NFC West news. Let's talk about the NFC West. So, in case you didn't notice, Seattle, I'm sorry. In case you didn't notice, the Rams lost. And I think that's great. But Seattle won. Now, am I worried Seattle's going to take the division lead? I don't think that's a concern. But I am worried about Seattle in the playoffs. If they claim a wild card spot, I'm worried about that. I don't want to have to play Seattle anymore. We got them at the end of the season. I don't want to play them again. All right. Yeah, I hope they don't make the playoffs at all. So them winning this last week, kind of troubling for me. St. Louis lost. We got them next. We'll get to that game in a minute. Green Bay lost again! The Green Bay Packers lost again. Minnesota, first place in the division. How crazy. Who saw that coming? Did you see that coming, person listening to this? Did you think that the Vikings were going to be leading the division as of what, week 13 or whatever the hell week it is? I certainly didn't, but I'm glad that they are because I kind of like the Vikings. I lived in Minnesota for a while. I still have a brother who lives up there, and he's a big-time Vikings fan, so, you know, I kind of cheer for the Vikings. I like them. Green Bay lost again. Vikings won. And I'm worried about Carolina, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm terrified. Every time I talk to Lutz about this, he tells me they're not as good as they appear to be. I don't know, man. I don't think it's possible to get an 11-0 record in the NFL without being an elite team. Good teams don't go 11-0. Great teams don't go 11-0. Only that record 11-0 is reserved for elite teams. All right, now they could go on a complete skid and end up finishing the season 11-5. Seems very unlikely. Who do they even got next? Let me take a look. I'm not even sure. I should really have this stuff in front of me before I start recording. I'm not a professional like Lutz, you guys. Oh my God, they're going to New Orleans to play the Saints. Yeah, they're going to win that one. So you see, Carolina's going to be 12-0. I can't imagine that they lose that game. Philly's a joke, guys. Philadelphia Eagles are a joke. Chip Kelly's done. There was this one. I wish I could remember her name. Her name was something about like all of them curls or love them curls or something about curls. And she does Eagles videos. And I went and checked out a couple of them, and there was one of them. I think it was called Fire Bitch Kelly. And I kind of see where she's. I'm gonna look this up right now while I'm talking to you guys. Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Oh, I meant to do this week. Go away. Time to go, bitch Kelly. Obey my curls. That's the name of it. And she has this video called Time to Go, Bitch Kelly. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Obey My Curls. Shameless plug. All right. Moving on. Where's my notes? Looking forward. How concerned am I about this upcoming game versus St. Louis in St. Louis? I'm worried. I'm worried, guys. I want to come away with no injuries. I mean, a win would be fantastic. I hope we win. But ultimately, more than anything, I don't want to see anybody significant get hurt. We're starting to get that injury bug, man. I'm losing CJ for the rest of the season. He might be back in time for the conference championship and the Super Bowl. Maybe. Ellington's out for a little while, putting us down to David Johnson, Stephon Taylor, and, of course, Kerwin Williams at running back. So I'm worried about that. That's scary to me that we're starting to get a little bit banged up. We lost Gerard Powers at corner. That's a big deal. Lutz is always clowning on Powers, but I think that even he would have to agree that we'd rather have Powers on the field than not have Powers on the field right now, because we don't, as terrible as Powers plays sometimes, we don't have a better alternative right now. I mean, I guess maybe Honey Badger could play corner. He kind of does that anyway. But then we wouldn't have anybody amazing at free safety, because we could put Jefferson or somebody. Point is, they wouldn't be as good. Yeah. So you miss Powers when he's gone. Let's see. What's the next thing I want to talk about? I'm going to do some picks. I'm going to do some Lutz locks. There's no Lutz here to do them, so you're going to get Kairi's locks. I'll run through these, and then we will check in with Red Ghost, who is standing by, patiently waiting to chat with me about football. Thursday night, Packers at Lions. I got the Lions on this one. I know I'm crazy. I'm usually wrong about things, but my gut's telling me Detroit. Jets at New York Giants. Give me the Jets. Cardinals at Rams. Cardinals. Falcons at Buccaneers. Buccaneers, I feel like they're kind of coming into their own a little bit. Seattle at Vikings. This is a tough one. I'm kind of torn. I love to watch the Seahawks lose, but at the same time, the Vikings are kind of encroaching on our 2 seed, so I don't want to see them win either. Ultimately, I hope the Vikings win just because I don't want to see Seattle in the postseason at all. 49ers at Bears. 49ers at Bears. I think the Bears are going to win that one. Jaguars at Titans. I got the Titans on that. Texans at Bills. I think the Texans will win that. I think the Texans might sneak into the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to make any noise or do anything fantastic, but I think they might sneak in. Ravens at Dolphins. You know, guys, I think we got ourselves
Gives a shit bowl.
the Who Gives a Shit Bowl has got to be this one here, Ravens at Dolphins. I guess I'll go with the Dolphins. Who cares? Bengals at Browns. Oh, boy, what a weird situation in Cleveland. They're going with Austin Davis instead of Johnny Manziel. Dude, I don't like Johnny Manziel. I feel like he's like irresponsible and, doesn't take his career seriously enough. But even I think that's insulting to go with anyone other than Manziel, even to go with McCown, to be honest, because you know what you're getting out of McCown. McCown's a middle-of-the-road quarterback, and that's all you're going to get out of him is a middle-of-the-road performance. He's not terrible. He's not awful, but he's not great, and he never will be. You know what you're getting out of McCown. At least with Manziel, there's a chance he might be something special. You don't know with Manziel. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't, but he might be, and we'll never find out if he doesn't play. So with McCown going down, this should have been Manziel's time to redeem himself. The coaching staff does not want to keep their job up there. Bengals are going to win this game. Chiefs at Raiders. 2 teams that are both kind of playing some better football these days. Give me Oakland on that one. Broncos at Chargers. Oh, I got to go with Big Brock and the big Denver Broncos. They're going to kill the Chargers. It ain't even going to be a game. Eagles at Patriots. Ain't even going to be a game. Patriots. Panthers at Saints. We already talked about this one. Unfortunately, the Panthers are going to win. But, man, I would love it if they didn't. I'd love it if this... How epic would that be if the lowly New Orleans Saints bumped off the Panthers and gave them their first loss? Colts at Steelers. Give me the Colts. Still got them a little bit of hard feelings about the Steelers, the Super Bowl there. Finally, Dallas Cowboys at Washington Redskins. Oh, that's a tricky one. Who's going to win that game? I really don't know. I'm not going to pick one on that because they're both mediocre teams, so I don't really feel like I should pick that one. Anywho.
I woke up feeling like I was on the moon. I woke up feeling like I need 100 gold. Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist.
All right, everybody. As promised, we are joined by the one and only Red Ghost from Red Ghost Sports Talk alongside the Magic Man. How y'all doing today?
Grown man business.
Click clack, baby. We in the house.
Hey, we feeling good, man. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm feeling great. I'm psyched to have you on, man. For those of you out there who haven't had a chance to check out Red Ghost stuff yet, you can find him on YouTube. His account is his YouTube channel is Red Ghost 1. And man, you got to check this stuff out, man. It's some of the best sports commentary on YouTube right now. Don't miss it. Red Ghost 1.
Hey, I appreciate the support and love, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's get right down to some questions. I got 2 questions for both of y'all, and feel free to take as much time as you want to elaborate on it or whatever. Just say whatever comes to mind. First question gonna be for Mr. Red Ghost himself. Tell me, Red Ghost, what you think of my boy Big Brock Osweiler?
Hey, he showed me. He showed the whole world he could take up the job. He's impressive, man. I like how he played. He played with heart. At the beginning, he was a little shaky, but that because the O-line really wasn't blocking for him. But the second half, he calmed down. He was cool and collective, and he showed a grown man business, baby.
Absolutely. You think so? You would feel comfortable going into the playoffs with Brock at the starting quarterback?
Yo, tell you the truth, I feel comfortable about this dude, man. I feel confidence. He plays good. He plays with a lot of heart. If you're going up against the New England Patriots when they blitzing every time, and you throw a deep pass, he got all my confidence in the world, baby.
Absolutely. You know I call him Big Brock because that dude really is big. He's like 6'9", man. He's a big dude. But
Yeah, he's 6'8", man. I mean, he need to be playing basketball somewhere, but I'm glad he's the quarterback for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I was excited when he came out of ASU. You know, he had a really rough break his senior year because the head coach of ASU was Dennis Erickson, and Erickson got fired, right? But then the ASU still made a bowl game, and then then Dennis Erickson had to go coach this bowl game after already learning he lost his job. So the team just went out there and folded on like their national like bowl game. It was the Las Vegas Bowl, and they were terrible. But I felt bad for Brock because like he was still trying to play his heart out. But
oh wow, I didn't know that, man. I know Arizona State is a baseball school, a real good baseball school. Actually, the Magic Man back in what year? Back in the early '90s, late '80s.
Yeah, late 80s.
He was actually gonna go play baseball for Arizona State.
Is that a fact?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's his school. Who played over?
Barry Bonds went there. Reggie Jackson, a lot of famous baseball players.
Yeah. Barry Bonds, that's his idol. I mean, he's the baseball guy. He played baseball on a high level, and he was actually going there. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, he was actually going to Arizona State to play some baseball.
What position you play, Magic Man?
Center field.
Okay.
Oh.
Y'all know James Harden came out of the ASU too.
Yeah,
but
James Harden.
I mean, that obviously, that's a whole different deal. But I don't think his beard was quite as impressive back in those days.
No.
It wasn't even close. It wasn't Red Ghost status back then, though. Arizona State has been kind of looking okay in football these last couple seasons with Coach Graham, but this season was a big letdown because I thought this is going to be I even said it in the podcast early on in the preseason. I thought Arizona State was going to be a contender for the college football playoff, and man, was I wrong, man. That season was sideways in a hurry.
Yeah, man. You really don't hear about Arizona State too tough in college football, but you get a lot of talent that come out of there, wide receivers and quarterback like Big Brock, But
yeah, Jalen Strong came out of Arizona State too, and he's playing solid ball in the NFL now. Being from Arizona, I always got to try to tout something about my local teams because we don't get a lot of national love. The Arizona teams, man, nobody care about us.
No, y'all don't get that much airwave, man. It's a lot of talent out there. Like I said, Arizona Cardinals. Mm-hmm. It's not enough, not enough airplay for y'all.
And let me tell you this, man. When I was a kid, the Phoenix Suns were like a premier basketball logo. I know the last couple of seasons they kind of dropped off, but man, there was a time when they had Barkley, KJ, and that squad, KJ. Man, they were tip top, man. They could run with the best of them. They just happened to be making it to the finals at a bad time because Michael Jordan was there that year. So what you gonna do about that,
Yeah. That was the battle of the eras. Actually, right now the Suns is like a young team up and coming, and I think they're gonna be all right in a couple of years. They're gonna be all right.
I hope so, man. I'm so far. Just about everything I've heard you say has come to pass, Red Ghost. So I'm gonna put some stock in that. You telling me the Suns are up and coming. In the next couple seasons, we gonna win championship. Red Ghost called it.
Hey, I appreciate that. Actually, Actually, I have two channels. We all know about Red Ghost One,
Mhm.
Red Ghost Sports Talk. We talk about everything: basketball, football, baseball, boxing, UFC. We even get into some hockey and racing on that channel. So yeah, I try to be as accurate as possible. My record is pretty good as far as my predictions, and a lot of people don't like to bet against me.
I wouldn't. For next week's NFL action.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Let's see. What's a good one? Oh, Seattle at Minnesota. Who's gonna get that one?
I like the Vikings.
Oh, I hope so, man. I hope. Let's see here. What's some other interesting ones? Eagles going to New England. New England gonna win that, right?
Yeah, New England. Unfortunately, the Eagles they gave up on Chip Kelly. They're not going to play for him.
They're not gonna play for. That's absolutely right, man. Man, there isn't a whole lot of good games slated. Well, I guess not. We got Green Bay going to Detroit.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to see Detroit win, but I don't think they're going to beat Green Bay 2 times in a row.
The last time they beat them was at Lambeau, man. That was intense right there. I don't think anybody saw that one coming.
I think that was by luck,
No, I did, but you know what? As a guy who was hoping to get his team a first-round bye in the NFC, and with Carolina playing the way they're playing, I mean, we're gonna have to settle for that 2 seed. I'm worried, and if that's gonna be the case, we need Green Bay to not win too many games. But Minnesota's looking pretty intense right now too, so they're kind of competing for that 2 seed. But I feel like if I have to deal with in the playoffs, I would rather have to deal with Minnesota than Green Bay. You know?
Yeah, you don't want to face Green Bay when they get hot because I think they're gonna be a force. They're gonna surprise everybody. Once they get hot, they're gonna be a problem.
Okay, what about Jaguars at Titans?
I'm gonna go with Titans. Jaguars, they're not gonna beat them 2 times in a row.
Okay, all right. And the last one I want to hear from you about, and this one has implications, is in my opinion it does. The Colts at the Steelers, because the Colts are trying to hold on to the division lead, and the Steelers are trying to sneak in as a wild card, so they both got something at stake right now.
Oh yeah, this game right here means a lot. I like how Hasselbeck is playing. I like the Steelers, but I'm gonna have to go with the Colts on this one.
As a Cardinals fan, man, it's I try to get over the Super Bowl when we lost to the Steelers. I tried to move on and grow from that, but man, just a little part of me still don't like Pittsburgh from that.
Hey, I actually lost money to my sister on that game.
Is that right?
Yeah, I went for Arizona, man. Kurt Warner is one of my favorite players. I'm a big Marshall Faulk fan, and when he went to the Rams, that's when I became a Rams fan at that time. They went to the Super Bowl, so I kind of like followed Kurt Warner with the Giants and Arizona. And I think y'all had Antron Royal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he's a University of Miami guy, and that's my favorite college team. So yeah. I was wrong with Arizona on that one.
Yeah, you know what, man? No, I'll tell you why we lost. Let me tell you real quick why we lost. In the wild card round, we were playing the Falcons. Everybody picked the Falcons to win. Every analyst on the pregame show picked Falcons, and we ended up winning the game. Second round, we were going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Every single analyst picks Carolina to win. Arizona ends up killing it, man. We crushed them 30-13. It wasn't even a game. And then the next round, we went to the Eagles for the NFC Championship. And again, everybody picked Philly to beat us, and we ended up winning. And then finally, we get to the Super Bowl, and like one dude, I think it might have been Terry Bradshaw, picked the Cardinals to win, and we ended up losing. If they all would have picked against us like they always did, we would have won the Super Bowl, man. But one dude had to screw it up for us.
So they jinxed you, huh?
That's right, man. Mr. Magic Man.
Yeah, what's going on?
How you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling good.
Okay, let me ask you something. I want to know this. Let's see. Let me go back to. I was on the right page for what I wanted to ask you about.
Okay. Jets
gonna make the playoffs?
Yeah, I believe they'll make the playoffs. They gotta be more consistent. Get the running game going. If we get Marshall to play up to the standard that he can play, and I think they'll make the playoffs.
You think they can make any noise with that squad they got, or you think it's a one and done kind of thing?
It can go either way. But I just want to see them get in the playoffs, and
absolutely
just keep them improving each year.
I want to make a statement. I think they could make some noise.
Okay.
They got you think about Marshall, but everybody's forgetting about Deccan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then we got Ivory that run hard.
Yeah.
He's a violent runner. He remind me of Adrian Peterson mixed in with Lacey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they could make some noise.
They got a chance. Once they get in, they got a chance.
That's all you need is a ticket to the dance, man. I mean, look at the New York Giants snuck in with a 9-7 record and then went on to bump off the undefeated Patriots. So
exactly, you never know.
Just like I said, all you need to do is just get hot. Once you get in the playoffs, the team that's gonna get hot, that's what you need to worry about. Yeah. I want to make a statement because you were mentioning Arizona in the Atlanta game and the Eagles game. I won bets on all those games right there in the playoffs, especially, and it started with the Falcons because I hate the Falcons.
Okay.
and that's when I really started rolling with Arizona in the playoffs to take it in the Super Bowl because they was winning all them games and everybody was going for the opposite team, like you said, the Falcons, the Eagles. And I just thought they were gonna go all the way with it, man. And just that last play when Roethlisberger threw that touchdown pass to that was a killer. Yeah, that was to Holmes, man. That was a killer right there.
That was an awesome game.
No, dude, but it was hard. It was heartbreaking, man. I can still remember the pass that gave us the lead with about 2 minutes to go. Watching the camera was right behind the end zone, and you could just see Fitz running at full speed towards the end zone, and we're about to take the lead, and I can still see it when I close my eyes. I can still see Fitz running right towards me, tucking that football up under his arm, about to get that touchdown.
I remember that, man. I was in I think I was in Tennessee at the time, man, and we was at a sports bar, and I was just screaming right there, and I said to myself, that was too much time, man. That was too quick.
That was my response too. That's exactly. I said, man, 2 minutes and change. That's too much time, dude.
I remember that. Yeah, they look good.
Hey, it's y'all time, baby. It's y'all time.
As long as we don't have to meet up with Denver in the Super Bowl, right?
Hey, y'all gonna have to meet up with the Denver in the Super Bowl.
Oh man. So
he wearing the hat. Wearing the hat.
Okay, but let me ask you this then. This is between you and Magic Man. Tell me this. How are you guys gonna do your show when New York got to go to Denver for the AFC Championship game? What's gonna happen right then?
Oh, it's gonna be me against the Magic Man, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
He's gonna have his Jets hat on like he do right now. I'm gonna have my Broncos hat on.
Yeah, I still gotta represent my Jets.
And I might have to get a cameraman for this one because I want to face off, stand in front of him,
and
look him in his eyes.
That's right. It's gonna be wartime, baby.
It's gonna be grown man business versus click clack, man. It's gonna be
that's right. Versus click clack.
Hey, that's gonna be classy too.
That's right. It's exciting time of year. I'm loving it, and anything can happen. Like I said, I just root for my boys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You think Todd Bowles and his defensive scheming can handle the likes of Big Brock Osweiler?
I think they can. They can. That's right.
I don't think so. I disagree. I disagree.
I'll tell you what, man. This is real about Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles was able to turn our defense into something good into something spectacular, man. Like, I mean, it was good when he got here because we had Ray Horton before that. When Todd Bowles came in, man, he took it to another level. It was something else watching. It was weird for me as a Cardinals fan because I was used to we had this high-flying offense of Kurt Warner and Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden and Edgerrin James, and that's what we were known for was our offense. We didn't have much of a defense the Super Bowl year.
Yeah.
But then,
right.
Then after that, man, suddenly we had this just phenomenal lights-out defense and no offense to go with it because it was before Palmer got here that year when we had Kevin Cobb and John Skelton and all that. That was dark years for us, man. All right, guys. Well, hey. Thank you so much for dropping in and chatting with me for a little bit. Anyways, Red Ghost.
What's going on?
What was the name of that other channel? I know you got Red Ghost 1. What was the other one?
Red Ghost Sports Talk.
All right, you guys got that? You can check him out at Red Ghost 1, Red Ghost Sports Talk. That's the only place you're going to get Red Ghost and Magic Man giving you all kinds of good sports stuff that you're not going to get anywhere else. So, anyways, boys, thank you for coming by and talking to me. I had a lot of fun. I hope we can do it again sometime.
Oh, yeah, man. We definitely going to do it again, man. I had fun. And like I said, man, I want to thank you and Brian, man. Y'all been giving us some pointers on how to, get our channel out there some more. You've been giving me a lot of good advice. I appreciate the feedback I'm getting from you, the support and everything, man. Hey, it's grown, man.
Absolutely, man. Grown man business all the way. All right.
All right.
All right, take it easy, guys. Thank you.
All right,
thanks.
man. Take care, brother.
All right.
Well, thanks, guys, for listening this week. I had a lot of fun. I'm sorry that Lutz wasn't here. He'll be back next week, I'm confident, and we'll have even more fun with next week's edition of Kairi's Cards Cast. Have a fantastic week. Go Cardinals! Oh, Cardinals! Hey, come here! Come here! Come here! Yes! Come here! Come here, I need you to say something. Come here. Okay. Say, Go Cardinals!
Go Cardinals!
That's right.